In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to set up Leopard Gecko lights. Many people think because Leopard Geckos mainly come out at night that they don't need any lighting at all. You know how us humans get tired at nighttime and it gets dark? That's to do with our melatonin cycle. Animals like our leopard geckos that are more active at nighttime have an inverse melatonin cycle, which means when they see bright lights and light outside, it makes them sleepy. In a really simple way, they're on the reverse cycle, which means if you don't give them lighting during the day and give them a nighttime and daytime, it would be like giving a human a really bright room and expecting them to sleep very well and get good sleep. Therefore, what we want to do is give our leopard geckos good lighting during the day so that one, they can come out and use it if they want to, and two, it helps them sleep very well. So for our simple lighting rig for our leopard gecko, we want one heat lamp and one UVB lamp. What you want to get is a really cheap lamp dome and put that over one side of your enclosure. The Fluker's domes are really cheap and really good for that, link down description. Then you're going to want a heat lamp to go in that dome. So the tactic that I use is I start with something like a 50-watt lamp. And then what I do is measure the temperatures beneath my lamp. To do that, I use something called a temperature gun. It's a point and shoot gun and it reads the surface temperature of any object. You want to read the temperature of the surfaces of your decor and your rocks underneath that heat lamp. Anywhere from 80 Fahrenheit to 90 Fahrenheit is a good basking spot for a leopard gecko. So what I do is I see if that 50 watt achieves that. If we're good, we're good. But if it's a little low, you can change up to a 75 watt lamp and screw that in instead. If that's too high, or if the 50 watt was too high, then you can go down to say a 40 watt or a 35 watt and measure again. Basically finding that Goldilocks zone where you take out your lamp, put a different wattage in to see if you get a good temperature beneath it. What we're building up is a basking spot underneath these lamps. So the area underneath our lamps at one end of our enclosure is called the basking spot. And we've just created that now by using that heat lamp. We want to make sure that the other side has no heating on it whatsoever, so you get a warm side and a cool side, so that your leopard gecko can go to one end and warm up or go sit in the shade when they want to cool down. Next up, we want to use a UVB light. Luckily, leopard geckos can survive without UVB. When your supplementation routine is good, they shouldn't be worried about having low levels. So providing UVB to your leopard gecko is really easy. You want a low strength UVB. One of the long thin tube ones from either Zoomed or Arcadia are really good. The Zoomed 5.0 or the Arcadia Shade Dweller do a really good job. All you need to do is put that on the same end next to your heat lamp, so you're building up this patch of sunshine in your leopard gecko's tank. Again, making sure that there's not lights on the other side, so that's our patch of shade, and then you're good to go. That's how you set up your basking spot. Now next we need to make sure that the air temperature in our enclosure isn't too hot or too cool. To do that, we want to put a digital thermometer like this one in our shaded end in our enclosure. Now I'll let you in on a little trade secret. Many people get this wrong. They think you need one on either end to read the hot side and the cool side. But actually you only need to buy one and put it in your shaded end, because the one we have in our shaded end is actually reading our air temperature. It's like when you stand outside and you stand in a sunny field and then you move into the shade to cool down. The air temperature in the field hasn't changed from here to here, you've just moved out of sunshine and into shade. And that's what happens in our enclosures. People move these thermometers along the enclosure under differing amounts of lights. And what they're actually reading is how much they can warm up the thermometer under lights at different points. And once you've got lights on a thermometer, it's no longer reading the ambient air temperature, it's reading how hot we're baking it under lights. I did an experiment where I placed one of these thermometers in a light box, and even really weak cheap LEDs above it managed to trick the thermometer in raising up its temperature reading by several degrees. Now think about what that does with our reptile lights. Simply make sure that one of these is in your shaded end without light upon it, and that will be a true reflection of the air temperature in our enclosure. Now the daytime air temperature can be anywhere from 73 to 79. And as long as your thermometer reads between those boundaries during the day, you're absolutely golden. At night time, turn all the lights off. This is going to give the leopard geckos their nighttime period. You can use a timer on the outlet and plug all the plugs into that timer, and then have it on for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So you could go from 9 AM to 9 PM. At night time, the air temperatures on your thermometer can go down into the low 60s, no problem. Now if you live somewhere really cold and your house is actually colder than the low 60s, you can give them some forms of supplemental nighttime heating. That could be a heat mat slid under your tank, attached to a thermostat to control for that, or something like a ceramic heat emitter. But I think you'll be surprised to find that all your decor is probably going to be absorbing all that heat from your basking spot, and then hold on to a nice warm spot for your leopard gecko to go press its belly against during the night time. Everything you need can be linked in the Amazon storefront down below, and I'll see you in the next video.